Extremely. Lamar's trying to get to the conference championship for the first time in his career. So how do the Ravens avoid another early exit, Peter, from the playoffs when history has not fared well for as good as this team may be?
They've lost their last 2 home playoff games, too. I was in the building when they lost to the Chargers and Phillip Rivers, and then I remember watching when Derrick Henry's doing jump passes and throwing touchdowns against them a couple years back in the divisional round when it was Lamar's MVP season. They're back at home. That's a proud fan base. They don't want to see them lose at home again in a playoff game. I look at it as they can't take the Texans for granted. That's obviously easier said than done. But when you come in as the #1 seed and you come in as the veteran squad and they're the young upstarts, it's easy to think, well, back in week 1, we kicked their butt. They're from the AFC South. They don't play in the AFC North like us. And, yeah, it's a nice story and you beat the Browns, but you beat the Browns with Joe Flacco, a guy that we moved on from. I get it. I understand how it might feel. But I look at this Ravens roster, and I go through this. I was going through it before the show with a pen, and it's like, Lamar is going to be a Raven for a long, long time. Odell Beckham's a free agent. Jadeveon Clowney's a free agent. You're talking about guys like Justin Matabuke, who's been huge as a free agent. They have 20 different free agents. Kevin Zeitler's a free agent. A lot of veteran guys. This might be the last time that this group is together, and this group has been working so well, and the chemistry is there. How do you look at it and say, you can't take anything for granted, and you can't take this one for granted for sure because the Texans have absolutely nothing to lose. I look at it and I say, it's our team, this 2023 Ravens, and it'll be 2024 if they make it through this week, the following week, and then, of course, to the Super Bowl. It's one of one. It's a unique squad. We're never all going to be back together, and we're not going to have the opportunity to do this. Let's not take this first one for granted. And, gosh, if they lose, it's like I said this on Friday, going about the Cowboys and Packers. Like, I don't know if I could show up to the show on Monday and talk about the Ravens on Monday because we've done this too many times with early playoff exits, especially with Lamar at quarterback, and it's not necessarily even his fault.
Yeah, the one thing constant with the NFL is change. So to your point, no roster is ever going to be the same, no matter how far you go in the playoffs. And you just said it, Lamar's 1-3 in his career in playoff games. And even as you look at those games, he hasn't thrown for over 200 yards in any of them except the blowout game against the Titans when they racked up a ton of yards late after that game was really out of hand. But what I loved about when you hear Lamar is the confidence that he has. The only other time I see that level of confidence is my wife. If you ask her, does she think I'm going to forget something that she told me the day before? And she's like, absolutely. Very much so I'm confident in that. But the offense is totally different than what we've seen from Lamar throughout his career because it will be the thing that we would say about the Ravens. All right, they run the ball. We had Mark Ingram in there. They had the big trust, everything. Lamar's on the MVP run. And it's just like, but is this going to work? Is this going to get them to the Super Bowl? Because he's a guy that does so much outside the pocket. But this year, as you watch him, Todd Monken comes in as offensive coordinator. There's weapons around him aplenty. We're watching Lamar just operate and just chill in the pocket. No rush, not scrambling around. Yes, he still has those attributes, and we still see those plays, and we're dazzled by him when he's able to do that. But for a lot of this season, we've watched him sit there and find guys like Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, Rashad Bateman, whether it's Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews that have been in the lineup, of Lamar just dicing them up and making throws from the pocket. Because when we watch a guy holding up in Lombardi with the confetti falling, it's always a quarterback that if he does run, he can do both. And I see Lamar, and I think what he's done this year, as you look at it, has been some of his best numbers from the pocket this season, where they rank throughout his career. I think that's the difference of this Ravens team, and specifically the Ravens offense. And that's why Lamar has the confidence going in of, we're going to score more than 20 points. We're going to be as prolific on offense as we have been all season long because we have the guys around us. He's not throwing to the same receivers that he's thrown to throughout his career, where the game has been dominated in the run game. So I think for Lamar, there's so much confidence. I think that's the difference of why they're going to be able to win this year in the playoffs.
I hear that. This is the first game of the weekend, first one up. It's 4:30 kickoff on Saturday afternoon for the Ravens. It's not 4:45. It's not 5 o'clock. It's not 6 o'clock. We got to go, and we got to get out of the gates. Let's play a game right here. Let's play closest to the pin. Okay. So the Ravens, I'm going to go Jamie, Jason, Peter. Okay. The Ravens have played 4 playoff games, as we've said many times with Lamar Jackson. Yes. 4 games. How many points in those games have the Ravens scored in the first quarter? Think about it. You have 4 first quarters. That's 60 minutes of football. How many total points have they scored in the first quarter of those 4 playoff games? Jamie, what do you think?
4 games. They didn't get to 20. I'm going to go 0.
0.
I'm going to say 14.
14 points total in the 4 games.
Even the win against Tennessee, I remember that game. Khalif Raymond was playing for the Titans and was crushing the Ravens at first. I'm like, why is Khalif Raymond killing the Ravens right now? I'm going to say 3.
3 points total. In 4 playoff games under this electric Lamar Jackson's guidance, in the first quarter they have scored 0 points. 0 points. Bring it up. Jamie was right. Look at this. Here's the 4 playoff games. After the first quarter, 6-0, 7-0, 10-0 in the game they won.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then 3-0. They don't get out of the gates. And they think it's not Lamar. Look at Lamar in the first quarter of playoff games. This is not the average. This is the total. Next. He's 9 of 16 total. He has thrown for 75 yards total in 4 quarters. 0-2. He's not thrown a touchdown, obviously, and his passer rating is 28.9. What's going on here? I think it's especially damning for the Ravens because the Ravens, when they jump you early, you're like, it's a wrap. Like, they have an intimidation factor. They have a shock and awe. They have Lamar's faster than our scout team guy was. These linebackers can hit. They have the veteran coach. If they get up on you, they can put you away. They don't get up on teams, and they let teams hang. And you look at somebody like DeMeco Ryans or C.J. Stroud, who looks up after the first quarter, and it's scoreless, or maybe they're up 3-0. They're like, all right, we just took the first round. It's fine. We can beat this team. They got to get out of the gates. I don't know what it is because not all those are after a bye. Only one of them is. This one will be too. So it's not even necessarily the rust discussion. They don't start playoff games fast. They get behind. They're sloppy. They're lackadaisical. Lamar is not good in the first quarter, and then they usually lose. You got to get out of the gates. I don't just give me 3 points. How do you not have any points? And Justin Tucker is your damn kicker. You can't get a field goal in the first quarter? Kick one from 60. He'll make it. I don't know if it's Harbaugh or Lamar or the collective group. They start really slow and they get beat. So when you watch this game at 4:30 Eastern, not 4:35 Baltimore, 4:30, we need an early score from Baltimore. If you let Houston hang, you let Houston believe, and the repeating factor is going to happen again. Get out of the gates. Give me 3 points in the first quarter. We'll be